Well, I'm back. Decided to take a little bit of a break. Really haven't done much fossil prep, but I have been working on this lovely cabinet, my micro abrasion cabinet. So several months ago, actually quite a few months ago, I picked this little bad boy up, ordered it, and been struggling trying to find media for it. I was planning on using iron, and the fossil, was it the Fossil Shack? I might be wrong. I think that's where I ordered this from. They were supposed to be getting more media in and be available on their website, but I've never seen any, so I'm not sure what's going on there. So I ended up finding about 240 grit glass beads. I've heard some people using these with good success, so I figured I'd give that a try. I can buy that on Amazon relatively cheaply. So anyway, so that's all hooked up, got it plumbed and connected to the air compressor. And then this is the cabinet, which of course I could have just cheaped out and bought a sandblasting cabinet, either new from Harbor Freight or something on Facebook Marketplace, but I like building things. So I've got a couple latches to keep it sealed. This is the front. I think it did 8-inch holes. Got a nice lid, little piece. Right now I'm going to try polycarbonate. It's not sealed necessarily, but there shouldn't really be any air pressure up against this window. So I don't think we'll get any leaking of media, and you'll see why in a second. But anyway, I cut everything using my router and guides, which was not the cleanest process. But anyway, that's the lid. Got a nice piano hinge that stretches pretty almost the entire width of the cabinet. Nice piano hinge. I've got foam tape for that seal. Picked up a pair of sandblast cabinet gloves on the old Amazons. And my God, these are the most god-awful smelling gloves. Who knows what sort of plasticizer, toxic phthalate China put in this crap, but they stink. Here's the, and I've actually never used this, so this will be the first time I'm gonna try to get video. I've got an old head from a trilobite I had prepped manually with my air scribe. I'm just gonna tinker around and see what it looks like cleaning up the scribe marks, and then maybe just play around on this slab, see how easily the glass media works on this particular substrate. And then I've got this broke, so I'm not too worried about it. You can see the crack. There's a little, I think, a Diplo hiding under here. I might try these fossils, the Green River fish, if they're not 18-inch layer, generally don't do well under air abrasion, but just for tinkering around and playing around, I'm gonna give it a whirl. But yeah, this is kind of took me a couple weeks because, you know, I don't know, limited time here and there, but got it all built. I think it turned out pretty nicely. So we'll see. I mean, it's big. It's definitely a little bigger than I was kind of anticipating once I put it on my little plastic table, but actually kind of fits nicely. I got room for the media holder and dispenser, and then there's the foot pedal with a pinch valve. So we'll see. I will try to get some video through the window, and my only concern with the polycarbonate is the glass media might be fine enough that any static electricity, it might cling really well to the plastic. Oh, and there really shouldn't be any air pressure against that, as I've got my vents here, which, ooh, I need to cover up. I got a t-shirt I'm just going to tape over the holes for right now. I'm trying to find like a square filter, and in hindsight, I honestly should have just done one big like 3-inch hole. I thought it'd be cool to do evenly spaced. I think those are 2-inch holes. So yeah, that looks cool, but now I'm just kind of struggling to find a filter element that'll work over it. So Anyway, I think that's it. So I'm gonna go ahead and shut this off here, and we'll give this a whirl and maybe play around on that. And actually, I've got this here, which is Devonian era, bunch of crinoid stems. Doesn't look like much, but I know there's a lot of interesting stuff in there. Maybe I'll give that a whirl, see if this kit does anything for this stuff. So, but anyway, I'll give this a quick whirl and see what happens. Here we go. The box definitely worked. Unfortunately, I'm not sure this glass media has enough guts to be decent prep media. It certainly is sandblasting. Certainly it would etch away some of this dirt and staining that's on the Wheeler shale. And it did exactly what I thought it would do. It literally blew away all the bones. Along with the stone, which I actually expected that to be the case. The stone is pretty soft, and so is the fossil, typically, in the non-18-inch layer. As far as I understand it, at least. So, again, not surprised by that. And then the other bit that I was working on, playing around with, come on, focus. It did take some of the air scribe marks out, and I think if I crank the pressure up even higher, but I'm at like about 45 or 50 psi, high enough that I'm worried it would start hurting the fossil or blow away any loose pieces of fossil. And actually, it's kind of funny, the fossil is not quite as dark as it was before, although this actually, I think, had paraloid consolidate on it beforehand, but it didn't really, I don't know, it didn't, definitely underwhelming. I might tinker around a little bit more with the glass media. I know I'd worked with my Pache little micro sandblaster a fair bit before, using their 240 grit, which is aluminum oxide. And this absolutely did wonders on the Wheeler shale. It would destroy this in a heartbeat, way faster than the glass did. But it worked very well on this. And it didn't, it will eat the fossil, but it takes a fair bit. But I also have, from Vanneman, included in the kit, maybe a pound or two of 50 micron aluminum oxide. So I might even try this, figure out what works best. For a Wheeler, I think I can get away with aluminum oxide. If I do have a couple 18-inch layer fossils I need to prep, and actually, you know what, I might try that later with the glass beads. and see how that goes. As one of them, I've been practicing with other media, including this stuff on a 18-inch layer specimen that I bought unprepped, and I'll give the glass beads a go on it to see how that works, but a little bit underwhelming. Didn't really seem like, as I cut, didn't seem to want to cut the Wheeler shale all that well, relative to the fossil itself. So there's still, like, what I was hoping would happen, I don't know if you can really see it in the video here, is there's some shale still between the ridges, I guess you could call it, on that trilobite piece. Maybe a little hard to tell in the video, but it did not remove it. It polished it and may have eaten away some of the trilobite, but it didn't really, yeah, I don't know, just kind of odd. I was expecting a little bit different performance. So anyway, I'll leave it off here. If I take video of the 18-inch layer prep work later, if I come back down, I will add that, probably do a separate video. But in any case, I now have a micro air abrasion setup for my fossils. And yes, I do have a very small amount of media that is absolutely clanging through static electricity to the plastic, which I expected. Not surprised by that. But in any case, it's definitely cool. At least I can have a cabinet to start practicing and seeing what this is good for, and obviously what it's not good for. Which again, I went into that one knowing that's likely what was going to happen, so I'm not upset. That's okay. And I'm more curious to find what works best for this sort of material, and the 18-inch stuff. So anyway, that's it for now. Adios.